Hey everybody, welcome to Climb the Ladder for the 94th episode presented by Washed Up Network. I'm your co-host Hunter, and my equally good-looking twin brother Duncan is sitting right here with me. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning in each week. Be sure to join the Climbers, a group just for you. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes and Spotify. Plus, you can see two of the same face when you head over to YouTube. This episode is brought to you by Rugged Roots. Go to ruggedroots.com to get the best in beard products. Use code LADDER20 for 20% off your purchase. As always, let's climb the ladder.
Hunter, opening day.
Opening day.
Oh, man. Miller never tasted so good on opening day eve.
It's cold. Ooh.
I know. Well, everybody, episode 94 is here, and that also means that tomorrow is officially 2022 opening day. We should have actually been a week into the season, but because of the CBA agreement and lockout, we are delayed a week, but that doesn't matter because we're getting a full 162 baseball games this year, and we're stoked about it. So we've got a ton of baseball for you today. We've got some segments at the end, one having to do with baseball, bringing back ballpark eats for all of the climbers out there. But yeah, before we get to the segments, we're just going to jump into some baseball, what we're excited for. And yeah, hopefully the Mariners can flip it around starting this week.
Yeah, I figured before we get too excited off on the Mariners deep dive, we'd just do a little bit of a high level baseball before we really dive in. But just for some numbers and some stats for the people, one thing that's crazy that I saw just when I was like leading up like for this past week. Well, it's been 2 weeks for me because I was in the sun last week. So I've just been trying to like get pumped, taking all the baseball that I can get. And I came across this one stat last season in Major League Baseball. 396 different guys took the mound as a starting pitcher across the league, and that was a record. The previous number was set in 2019, 368. So almost 30 more people took the mound as a starting pitcher. So that's just crazy, but I figured we could just take a look at on this one article made the top 10 pitching rotations across the league.
Yeah,
and I
one
thought we could
thing
just highlight a couple of these because like you scroll through these and it's just like the 5 hottest names and you're like, that's incredible time and time again.
Yeah, one thing before we dive into those rotations, why do you think it is, or maybe that article said why it is that there was so many different starting pitchers? Because Jim and I last week talked about the farm system and how the lower A's are changing now because you have a different pool coming in. You have different rules for how often you can send somebody up and down. So any thoughts on why that might be?
Yeah, I mean, the thought behind it and also some of the facts behind it, um, the nature of using pitchers and like their patterns and everything, just with their usage from game to game and throughout the season is different. And they'll throw different guys in, they have different scenarios, the competition gets different. But also another part of it was a lot of injuries coming off of the shortened 2020 season, just because that was unprecedented and those guys had never experienced something like that. So we'll see what happens also. Just a little bit different of a dynamic going into the 2022 season with a shortened spring training because of the lockout. So that could be something to watch for. Maybe this season we break the 400 mark. But yeah, injuries on that shortened season, and then just mostly changing how pitchers are utilized, really.
Yeah, I was also thinking about injuries because you have so many guys who, maybe 30, 40 years ago, they weren't playing year round like they are now on club teams, from the age that they're 8 or 10 all the way until maybe they make the big leagues after college or during college at 21, 22. So I think that injuries are probably something that, especially in pitchers, we're starting to see where Tommy John will become more common. I think burnout will also become more common. We talked to Brett Lauren a few weeks ago, who played through the minors all the way up to AAA, and he was kind of forced out of it, but also had kind of that burnout feeling. And he even said after baseball how he didn't really want anything to do with it for 6 or 7 years because it had just consumed his life. So there's probably a lot of factors that play into that. But yeah, let's jump into some of the rotations and see what we've got going into the 2022 season.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly, number one out of these top 10 best rotations is the Mets. You have, I'll just run through it: Jacob DeGrom, Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett, Carlos Carrasco, and Taiwan Walker, who, if
Mm.
that rings a bell for you, of course got his start with the Mariners.
Pain. And he had a really good career on the Diamondbacks. And then he came back to the Mariners, and then they're like, I don't think we're going to spend the money on this guy. And then he comes like one of the faces of the Mets. So that sucks.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, Scherzer and DeGrom, just to lead it off, like any team that plays them should just like mark that up as two L's.
Yeah, seriously. That's a pretty electric rotation.
Yeah, second on this list is the Brewers. Um, Speaking of brews, give a little cheers here.
Milwaukee.
Um, but yeah, the Brewers with Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, Eric Lauer, Adrian Hauser, and Aaron Ashby. Um, and I mean, that's arguably like it's not as big of names with a proven track record like the Mets, but um, I mean, they're they're good, you know. Um, they have Burns. He was the reigning NL Cy Young winner. And then another top five guy in the Cy Young voting in Woodruff. So, uh, those are just solid guys to make up a good rotation. The Blue Jays are in there at number three, with led by Jose Barrios and Kevin Gosman. I mean, right
Man.
there.
The Blue Jays, just a note on them. I think they're going to be good this season.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that. They did lose Robbie Ray.
Yeah, let's go. He's we'll get to that in a minute, but the top 15 opening day matchups ranked, well, it's all 15. Robbie Ray, big reason for that.
Yeah, definitely. But even without that, I mean, they're a um, solid bullpen. Finish that out with the addition of Kikuchi. That's going to be big for them.
Dang.
He's jumped around, but I think he found a really solid landing place with the Jays.
Yeah, and Vlad Jr. coming off an almost MVP year up against Shohei for one of the best seasons in the history of baseball. I mean, you have a guy who's just going to keep hitting bombs left and right.
Exactly. And then the White Sox are at number four, and then notably the Astros are at number five. Of course, led by Justin Verlander, and then you have Valdez, Garcia, Urquidy, and Christian Javier, which we know all too well as our division rival. So I think the AL West, which, yeah, like you said, we'll get to, but it's going to be a competitive division this year. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we're over 90 wins and we're going for the wild card because the Astros are so solid.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come down to that. But man, looking at the M's at the number 14 in the power rankings to start the season, that feels good. I mean, I think it's going to be tough. I think we saw a tough Astros and a tough A's, especially at the end of last season. And we just couldn't do enough to come over to the top of the division. But man, you throw the Angels in there and have a four-way race for what I mean could be some extra playoff spots now for our division. I think it's going to be tight. Every game's a must win, and we'll kind of see how we get there.
Yeah, definitely. Just to kind of round out the list, The Giants are at number 6. The Dodgers are at number 7. Kershaw, Urias, Andrew Heaney. Just they got the dudes.
Yeah, I know
um,
you can't argue with that at all.
yeah, and then number 8 Braves. Um, Obviously a solid. They they did a lot this last season. Um, Ian Anderson, Kyle Wright, Max Fried. Yankees, led by Garrett Cole. Um, and then to round out the top 10 is the Phillies. So, I mean, that's also something to watch for. If something unexpected happens this season, then all of a sudden we're like, wow, remember when we went through those and they're actually in the tank?
Yeah,
So,
like the Phillies, that's one of those. It's like, yeah, Harper's there, but I don't know if they'll be top 10 at the end of the season. Guess we'll have to see if we eat our words on that one come the end of October.
exactly. Um, So yeah, I mean, you're only as good as your weakest link, even if you have some all stars like we've seen with the Mariners. Have a solid 3 guys, but you need 5 or 6 to really complete it.
Oh,
So yeah, we'll
yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think continuing into a ranking system, I mean, there's so much that we're excited for as the season starts, but we still haven't had baseball to officially talk about until tomorrow. So, one thing I'm bummed before we go into the opening day game rankings is, man, the Mariners. I get a notification first thing this morning that the Mariners versus Twins in Minnesota is actually postponed today for inclement weather warning. So that was a little bit of a bummer to start my Wednesday.
Yeah, classic. The Mariners play in Arizona all spring, and then they go out to the Midwest and they're just getting a bunch of storms right now. And they cancel it ahead of time too. It's not even like a rain delay.
Yeah, they didn't even give him a chance. But nonetheless, the important thing is the Mariners are the third, according to MLB.com, the Mariners are the third ranked opening day matchup between Thursday and Friday. So if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what does, because um, coming in only behind the Red Sox Yankees, which is obviously a timeless rivalry that should be up there on the power rankings. And surprisingly, the first on the list is Astros Angels with Framber Valdez pitching against Shohei Ohtani. So, I mean, coming off of a historic season, they're probably going to put the Angels at the top, and especially for what the Astros did as well in the postseason. So, I'll take a third ranking there.
Yeah, love that. And since just because we're on lineups, or we're on rotations, but a little bit on lineups, Robbie Ray is opening it up in that Twins game to open the season. So that'll be really exciting. And then we have some past lineups and projected lineups. Um, but as of what we've had current, lead off Adam Frazier, number 2 Ty France, 3 Jesse Winker, cleanup Mitch Haniger, number 5 Eugenio Suarez, the third baseman that we got, which has been kind of a question mark to fill that position. And then Kelnick, Rodriguez, Crawford, and Raleigh at catcher.
Yeah, what position do they have Winker playing?
They have him at left field right now.
Nice. Yeah, I was curious where he might go. I need to pull up the roster as well, but I know that there's a little bit of talk of where he was going to go, and especially having some of the new people in place. Definitely exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get into some more opening day stuff as the people will hear this release on opening day.
Yeah, really excited for some additional opening day matchups. Let us know how you think your favorite team's going to do. Obviously, there's the realistic predictions as well as the World Series, like my team's going to win it all predictions. So last week, Jim and I each had our predictions. We actually both picked the Dodgers in the NL, and then he took the Red Sox. I took the Mariners in the AL. But yeah, give us your bold predictions, see how your team's going to stack up against those bold predictions. And then if that's different than your realistic one, definitely let us know. But yeah, coming in at number 4 is Dodgers Rockies. Bound to be an exciting one. Dodgers coming off of a awesome season and one that I think they're gonna be after again.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Man, I'm kind of scared to make a bold prediction. I heard you and Jim's last week uh, in the Dodgers, and of course, one of the Mariners in there. I think there's a lot of good ball clubs this year that are just hungry and ready to get after it. So it'll be interesting. But you want to go through a couple more of those opening day matchups, just as kind of game one of 162 and something to look back on, as the season progresses.
Yeah, I think one team that we can't scroll past is number 5, Pirates at the Cardinals. The Cardinals, something that is long anticipated. They had a glimmer of hope last year, but man, with Wainwright starting what is probably his last season on the mound, and with Yadier Molina behind the plate, with the newest addition in Albert Pujols sitting at that new DH spot. Man, I don't think it gets much better than that. The three of them reuniting after, I think, over a decade, which is just crazy. And I think that it's probably going to be a sold out crowd at St. Louis tomorrow, and I bet they're going to make a run.
Yeah, for sure. I like that one. I'm just so excited to watch all the opening day tomorrow. Like just as much baseball as I can get and knowing that there's not going to be a time without baseball until October.
I know, crazy to think about that, and that man, fans are in the stands fully. I feel like there's good momentum coming off of the CBA agreements, and where they might have lost a few fans if it interrupted the regular season, they were able to make it happen. So definitely not a concern there. But rounding out the top 10, and the last one that we can talk about today, unless you've got any more, is Rangers at Blue Jays. The Blue Jays get to play all 81 of their home games in Toronto this season. So for anybody that remembers last season, they had to split some time in other ballparks. I think they played in Florida as well as in Buffalo, New York at a minor league stadium. So Blue Jays fans really excited for a buzzing team. Again, Vlad Jr. up there. And a lot of excitement coming from the Blue Jays. So looks like the Rangers got Corey Seager, which we already talked about, and Marcus Semien. So man, where we haven't really talked much about the Rangers in the AL West, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think anybody's going to take it easy in our division this year.
Yeah, definitely. I did want to round out or kind of end this segment with um, number 6. We can't go without talking about the world champs, the Braves. The Reds are going in there with, I don't know, I feel like not a ton to offer. And I mean, the Braves are going to be raising the banner for the first time in 26 years. And I just feel like they could put up 10 on the Reds on opening night. Max Fried's taking the hill, so um, yeah, I feel like it's a no-brainer there, but we can't go without mentioning the champs.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Really exciting, Hunter. You've got to add in your prediction that Jim and I talked about last week, but who are you taking the series? If you take the Mariners, do you have a different, more realistic take, or are we going bold all the way?
Honestly, I think the American League is going to be where the challenge is at. I think coming down to the end of the season, we'll be fighting the Blue Jays, we'll be fighting the Yankees, probably fighting the Rays too. I know you guys talked about the Red Sox last week. They're a real concern, and that's just out of the AL East. Um, and yeah, I mean, White Sox are good, and then I think that we'll have to really take care of the Astros and the A's. I know the Rangers made a lot of acquisitions over the off season, but yeah, I think we'll have our work cut out in the American League, and then as far as the National League, um, man, I mean, Braves are going to be tough. The Mets are going to be, I would say, one of the top teams, and then of course the Dodgers and the Giants. So um, I don't know. I think I'll go a little bit different than you guys. Obviously, I want to take the M's in the AL just for for a confident and hopeful run. So I'll go I'll take the M's all the way for the AL. And I could see, man, it's hard. Like so many good teams. Um, but throw a little curveball. I'll take the Giants. Keep it in California for the NL, but um, they they had a good run last year, so I'll
Yeah,
keep it on the West Coast and go M's Giants.
I like that. One of the top seeds coming out of the NL last year, and man, they were surprised when they went out early, and so I think people expected a lot out of them, and they'll probably have that chip on their shoulder coming into this season.
Definitely, I think so.
All
Well, man, moving right along. Um, just so excited for opening day. It's finally here.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more to talk about next week after we have a week of games. Mariners home opener not until next week. I believe April 15th is when they return to Seattle for the first time this season with what I'm guessing is a highly anticipated, probably close to sold out crowd. Really just carrying that momentum from last season.
Yeah, and I mean, um, I'm hoping that when we return from our 2 series road trip to make our home opener on April 15th, that will be 6-1 or 5-2, and just really take care of business on the road.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Well, time we hop outside the diamond onto the court really quick, and then we'll jump back into a little bit more baseball. But segments this week brought to you by the great PNW. They're our newest apparel line on Climb the Ladder. Head over to thegreatpnw.com. Get your hands on the newest shirts, sweatshirts, hats, whatever you're looking for with some great Northwest vibes. They've got it for you. And make sure you enter code Climb20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. All right, Hunter, baseball's exciting. We're on the eve of it, but basketball had to finish up first. And man, what an awesome national championship we had this week.
Yeah, it really was. Talk about a game. I mean, anybody that didn't watch it or did, but North Carolina up by 16 at the half, and it came right down to a step out of bounds with 4 seconds left, down by 3. Um, it doesn't get much better than that. I mean, unless it was a buzzer beater. But I did want to see OT just because my bracket I stopped caring about after Gonzaga and Arizona lost in the back-to-back days. So then I was just a fan, and they really put on a show. That's for sure. Better ratings than the Grammys.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. That was a highly anticipated matchup, especially with per the seeding, North Carolina being an underdog. Honestly, though, how they played, they should have been a 1 or 2 all the way. They were obviously a better team than Duke. They were much better than Arizona or Gonzaga showed throughout the whole tournament. And thinking back to Boise State being an 8-9 matchup, I mean, they were on a different world than North Carolina. So props to North Carolina for making it happen, for going up by 15 at half to a 1 seed. I mean, that was super impressive. I did take Kansas to the championship. However, I had Gonzaga beating them. So max out my points once Kansas punched their ticket. But man, what a fun game to watch. I mean, the comeback, the back and forth, the neck and neck, a few injuries, even teams hitting threes left and right. We had a couple good alley oops. Like, really, it was what you want in a national championship. And I think playing through 68 teams to get there, you truly do get the best 2 teams.
Well, yeah, and I mean, yeah, exactly like you said, like that was a good ball game. I mean, fun one to watch, kind of high scoring, I would say, for a national champion um matchup like that. Two best in the country. Um UNC had a lot to show coming off of the win over Duke over the weekend, knocking off Coach K for the final time. And yeah, they had a lot to prove, and they did prove a lot as a number 8 seed coming into it. Really shows that anything can happen. But it was an awesome game. Yeah, a lot of points, a lot of rebounds, kind of physical. Um, Sucked to see the rolled ankle at the end, especially when they slowed down the replay like that.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. Baycott, solid player. I mean, he balled out the entire tournament, and then
Yeah.
I guess he got injured on Saturday. But man, yeah, he had a rough go of it for sure.
Yeah, but that was a good basketball game, and um usually we don't come up like this close between basketball and baseball, but we had a little postponed for the MLB. Actually, the Rainiers opening day was on Tuesday of this week. So just a 1 day gap for you college college basketball to minor league viewers there, but
Yeah, that's
Rainiers just started it off hot.
nice. Yeah, exciting there. Excited to get to some Rainiers games hopefully this summer. Watch our backyard Boise Hawks do some action. Maybe make it over to the Canyon County Spuds if we can make it up to Caldwell this year. So a lot of baseball coming. Baseball's in the air. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can smell it. Spring is here. The fresh cut grass is real. And man, baseball starts tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, just having dreams and visions of the mow the grass patterns in our sleep.
Definitely. Well, Hutch, before we jump out of baseball, let's talk about some ballpark eats. Say you're heading to Safeco tomorrow, opening day. What are you getting your hands on? No line, money's not an object. What are you going for? And yeah, walk us through that experience.
Dude, I'm going for a foot long. I'm going all out if money and lines are not an option. I'm going I'm going foot long hand dipped corn dog. I'm
Mm,
going Seattle dog with onions and cream cheese, and I'm going for a 24-ounce Bodie.
nice. Can't beat a 24-ounce Bodie, and the rest is just cherry on top. I'm gonna go. Just mixing it up. I usually go for a ballpark dog. I'm gonna go tall kettle corn when I'm walking into the game. Got a little pre-snack appetizer. Go find the seats first, set the kettle corn down, and go hop into one of the food stands. But I'm gonna go for some Edgar's Cantina nachos. I feel like ballpark nachos highly underrated, especially when they're served in a fake plastic batting helmet. Definitely undefeated there. I think grabbing a 24-ounce Bodie sounds absolutely stellar. You get that citrusy local IPA. And man, if we're going all the way, money's not an option. We're probably racking up 200 or 300 bucks now, but I'm getting a big old ice cream cone or a shake or something because you got to feed that sweet addiction with a little bit of a treat to cap it off. So, man, ballpark eats, mouth watering just thinking about it, but can't get there soon enough.
Definitely feel that. Love the nachos. Um, yeah, can't go wrong. And yeah, we're probably taking out a loan for that ballpark trip. But I'm excited to see a full Safeco for a lot of these games. Usually there's like 5,000 fans on a Tuesday or whatever, but I think people are really gonna flock to the stadium.
Yeah, I think it's going to be busy. I think the buzz is in the air. I think you'll have to tell me, but $12 center field bleacher seats are probably a thing of the past after the strong
They
outing.
have they have some $10 and $20 tickets going to start. They even had them for opening day, which I didn't
Nice.
snag, but it's cool that the opening night is Friday this year. It was Thursday last season.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that'll be
so gonna be
pretty.
a good opening night crowd for sure.
Yeah, pretty electric. I bet close to a sold out stadium, and you're going to be able to hear it from Tacoma if you're not there.
Heck yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Well, rounding out episode 44, talk a little beer league softball. Hunter, your season is already underway, and my season starts next week, finally, after much anticipation. How's the Patriot Fire Protection team doing? Coaching them up. What's it looking like?
Yeah, so it was 4-4 last night in the first inning, and then the final was 18-4.
Oh man, a little 14 unanswered there for you.
Yeah, so pretty tough. So we were the home team, so they scored four. We came back and answered. We went shot for shot in the first inning. We got through 8 guys, um, batted, got on base. I came around and scored. Um, had some nice hits, had the sticks going. And dude, They scored 10 the next inning. They were just hitting it where we weren't. I mean, maybe one error, but um, nothing huge. And the wheels just fell off. And that
Dang,
was it.
yeah.
So still trying to build the cohesion with the new team. Puts me in a tough spot as the coach. But hey, I will recall um, the first season, the inaugural season of the bench warmers co-ed team was pretty rough. We didn't win a single game. We got mercied almost every game. And hey, when we kind of built that, we had the spark, came back as benchwarmers 2.0, and look at us. You know, we won all but two games. So I have that in the back of my mind in my coaching portfolio. Hey, when Don James came to UW, he didn't win all the time, but he became the winningest coach of their program. So
Yeah, to me, you got to start somewhere. I mean, build that cohesion, build a firm foundation. Next year, come out swinging. You're going to surprise everybody. Oh man, that Patriot team! Remember when we mercied them? Just going to go put the shellacking on them. You guys are going to be hitting out of the park dingers, and yeah, you'll be a different team. So just get those reps
exactly.
in, build that bonding. Maybe grab a happy hour after, and you'll be there in no time.
Yeah. Do you have your night set for your game schedule?
Yeah, we are Mondays and Wednesdays. We got a lot of late ones, late Wednesdays, some 9 p.m.ers. So definitely under the lights once the spring unfolds. Starting next Wednesday, so a week from tonight, uh, opening day for the Boise City Softball League. Playing two divisions up from the bottom, so we're M8, and yeah, I think we'll be pretty good. Almost, I think we have entirely the same team intact with three new players. But we have a pretty deep roster because that there's always some no shows, and I think we're gonna pick up where we left off. We kind of had our figure it out last spring, got a little bit better in the summer, so I think we'll be hitting it good next Wednesday.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, you gotta carry some extra guys. We have 16 on the roster, and we had 10 show last night, so we were playing a bit of Iron Man. So definitely got the reps in.
Yeah, that makes a tough team. So definitely make sure you guys get some more people out there, bring a cold cooler and string some wins together.
Definitely. But it's been fun. It's good to be back out there after a little year hiatus for me, with the exception of the one guest appearance in the Boise League this last year. But yeah, it's good to be back out there.
Yeah, good stuff. Really excited for the upcoming season, and excited that softball and baseball are all in full swing. And um, yeah, it's spring is in the air. Baseball's here, baby.
Opening day is here, and baseball, I mean, it's been back, but it's here. It has arrived, and it's here for almost 6 months.
Yeah, buckle up and get excited. Let us know if you're going to an opening day game tomorrow. If you made it to this part of the episode, let us know what your ballpark eats go to is, and we'll catch you next week on episode 95.
Definitely. Well, good one, Dunk, leading into an exciting, much anticipated, not sure if it was going to happen, opening day, and we have arrived.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, everybody raise a glass. And as always, let's climb the ladder.
Let's climb the ladder.